We'll need a gurney and a hangar bay. ETA 19.
Death at the gates again. Howling my name. Come on in, old buddy. Sorry I made you wait.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Wolfenstein II, I Am Death Incarnate, no upgrades, walkthrough. This is the first of 3 New Orleans missions, and these areas are fantastic. Not only is this pretty much an exclusive stealth chapter that you can get through it without any incident, but it is some of the most ambitious and wide-scale scope areas to stealth through, with really dynamic settings and really interesting patterns to challenge yourself with. And I'm very happy to report that I think I've got some dynamite paths that are really going to help you. And this first one, once you pick up the camp pistol, which is a grenade pistol, which is quite useful for some of the heavier enemies. But the first pattern here is fantastic as well, because it involves movement, and I love anything that involves movement. So normally you can walk all around here, stealth past people, kill them and all that good stuff, but if you climb on this balcony, you can jump across onto whatever that mechanism is there, and then you can crouch and sit in this room for the armoured diesel soldier to go past, and then we can just sneak around him, and we can get out of this area without attesting any violence, which is awesome. And I think this game is really, really good. I do. And people have been asking me if I feel like it's worth it, and I really, really do. I think it's fantastic. It's just a really, really fun experience. And I have some harsh criticisms of the game, and I have harsh criticisms of every game, but that's the stuff that interests me, guys. I'm curious, and I'm always kind of enchanted by decisions that I don't understand and design options that I don't quite get behind or really like. That's the stuff that I like to analyse. That's what's fun for me. And even though I have been critical of a lot of aspects, it's still wonderful. But this is all about speed now, guys. As soon as this begins, you get an autosave. That's the one you're going to be falling back on if you fuck this up. Immediately sprint around here, sprint to the left, and try and get behind the piece of concrete coming up. There's a ton of dudes in this area, but if you do it fast enough, they'll not be looking at you. What's really important now is for the guy on the right to move all the way to the right, and the guy coming close to come past us where we are on this piece of concrete. I'm going to throw the tomahawk at him, and just as he dies, if you start moving forward, the guy who passes you will not see you. Pick up the tomahawk, and then move towards this bus. Here's a great example of shitty clipping, and then just inside here there's another guy to execute, so kill him. I'm going to be turning the camera while I do the execution input, and that's why you're able to move the animation as I did, and then throw the axe at him and get a checkpoint. I just reloaded the checkpoint, and from here you need to go fast again. So move standing up, jump over this, move again standing up, and then crouch. If you do it just as this guy comes out of that area, the guy to your right will not see you here, and you can now run and sprint and jump into the water, take maybe 1 or 2 hits, and then you'll get a checkpoint and you'll be fine. Sometimes William doesn't dive though. When you're under the water, you seem to get hit less. Swim towards the light and then climb up here. Once again, the mantling, not the best on this game. And then up here you'll get another checkpoint, and I have a wonderful strategy for this bit. So sprint, don't sprint, move while standing all the way over to the back of this truck. There's going to be a diesel enemy to your right. One enemy's going to come towards us, and we're going to hit him with an axe. He doesn't see you though for some reason. He's really dumb, him. He's looking the other way, which is nice. And then there's going to be a guy behind us just patrolling too. We're going to axe the guy behind us, pick up our tomahawk, and then we're going to do 2 long-range tomahawks on those people in front of us. There's me cutting the fuel line on the diesel enemy, and then here's me waiting for this guy. So wait for him to move to the side, then tomahawk him. Go pick up your axe, or don't. And then now there's one guy just over there. Did you see him? There's 2 people that are kinda in the hue of the level's lighting. They're not the easiest to see because the game looks so beautiful and bloomy and realistic, but you'll see there's one guy moving to the left and there's one guy past him. So the guy to the left here is going to stop, and the guy just in front of me is also going to stop. Do you see him? So this is where we're going to hit him. This is a really long shot. So there you go, there's the first guy, and then the guy just to his side. Be careful here because you can actually hit the concrete. Strangely too, do you know how we cut the fuel line of that guy? I've actually blown up his fuel line by hitting the concrete, throwing the tomahawk over there. I don't know how that worked. The game is very strange when it does things like that, but this game is unfortunately a little bit buggy. Every so often you'll stumble on something quite strange and goofy. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's annoying, but that's all the enemies, and there's not actually a checkpoint when you go into the next area, so I recommend that you save, because if you fuck up the next stealth section, you'll have to get rid of all those people again. And what we just did then, it's kind of impressive, right? It looks cool as shit, but it's not the easiest thing to keep repeating. But always make sure to pick up your axes. The axes are wonderful tools, and then depending on what power that you use will depend on what you need to use to get into this next warehouse. And then the warehouse is going to be activate a power source to then activate a weird monorail thing to then get to the next area, which is another stealth section, and then a boss fight. So look forward to that. But finding the axes is a pain in the dick. That's what I was trying to do just then. But this is another pretty quick and decisive pattern, guys, and if you run out of sequence with the way I run, people are going to hear you, so you need to follow my movement exactly. So walk up the stairs, not crouched, quickly, and then move over here. There's going to be a guy just in front of you, and a guy just to your left. You want to kill the guy on the left first, but make sure you hit his calf. If you hit him in any other place other than like his lower leg, he's going to react and he's going to take one more axe than he should take. Like that guy just did. But 2 axes, even on an armoured part, will kill him. So there goes all my axes, there goes all the threats in this immediate vicinity, and now we can use the super loud, stupid, squeaky legs to get inside this building and turn on the power. So, do it from the back, and hopefully you don't have trouble with the mantling, because my problem with mantling in this game is not only is the detection bad, but it makes noise when you jump. So if you're trying to mantle and you get a jump input because the mantle's being a piece of shit, you make noise and it gets you killed. I don't know why in today's day and age mantling isn't autonomous and it's not good. Like, there are plenty of games that do it fine. If you play Battlefield and you sprint towards a wall, doesn't he just hop over the wall? Isn't that what the game does? And I might be wrong, you might have to press a button, but I know for goddamn sake that it's much better than this game, and I don't know why, because this game is fantastic on almost every front, so why they could fuck up mantling so egregiously, I can't understand it. I can't understand making a game where climbing on the simplest object is in some way a difficult struggle. I don't get it at all. I've played too much Titanfall where climbing everything is fun and effortless, and this game makes it feel like a real struggle. And it's frustrating because there's a lot of strategies that you could utilise, all kinds of crazy routes, but you can't do it because he will not climb anything. He's like an old man. It's really, really bad. But push forward on this. I love his jacket as well. I don't know if there's a small reference to Game of Death with the alternate colours, but there's something about black and yellow, dude. It must be from when I was a kid and I watched those Bruce Lee movies, or the one Bruce Lee movie that doesn't actually have Bruce Lee in it for a lot of it because he died, unfortunately, but that suit was so goddamn iconic. And then, of course, Martial Law wore it in Tekken, and I used to be a big fan of Law back in the day. But this is another really aggressive strategy. If you sprint all the way over to this box just here, while he's landing, he will not see you because he's too busy in his animation of arriving. Save just after doing that, and then you can stealth aggressively past this next sequence, and you don't really have to mess with anybody. I'm going to axe him because he's looking at me, so pick up your axe and then try and move aggressively to the right. There's going to be a guy looking at us now. Watch this for skirting the edge of danger. How this guy doesn't see me, I will never know. But I'm so glad that he didn't. So God bless you, Wolfenstein. All the other times when I got spotted 9 miles away by a guy with cataracts, and that guy doesn't see me, zero consistency, but I'll take it. And then all we're going to do now is sneak over here, chuck a grenade at the explosive, and then bust through the wall. So there is a massive boss fight coming up now, guys. You want to make sure your life is full, and that you have full armor, and you want to put on double shotguns. Double shotguns. There's a ton of armor in here as well. You want to save before you go out, just in case the game doesn't give you a quick save, because this is about to get real interesting. Good news is, I have a strategy that does this with minimal damage. So, all you have to do, folks, is drop into this little wedge here and crouch. Crouch and hug this wall. What is going to happen is, because of the way that the game kind of interpolates your perspective, it's going to push you away from the wall when you shoot, and it's going to allow you to shoot at this boss without taking any damage. So you'll notice his fire can't hit us here. So we're just going to go flat out automatic on him with the shotguns. And then after this boss is dead, there's going to be about 5 of the diesel soldiers. The diesel soldiers are where the danger begins because of the way that the game wants to push us back so that we can actually shoot in a more dynamic position. It's going to put us into a position where we can take damage. But you can compensate for it and it's only minimal damage, so you should be okay. And you could just save scum if you're not bothered about, you know, doing this on one attempt or anything. So here come the soldiers. So, did you notice how my camera, like, bobbled back when I shot just then? I'll try and give you an example. Right now I can't see anything to shoot. In a moment, when I start shooting, I'm going to see way more of this guy than I could before. So, he's moving forward, so he's giving me a nice easy shot. Once again, this is the AI being retarded. They can't pathfind to the side and shoot me, which is a blessing because this strategy works. But do you see then? Do you see how it pushed me back? Look, you see then? It pushes me away from the wall so I can see his face. It's really good if you can hit them and stun them, but it also lets them hit you. So you need to be aware that shooting in this position occasionally will push you backwards. And it all depends on how the game's relationship between your position, the wall's position, and how it wants the hands to animate on the screen. And if you shoot off on an angle like this, it doesn't push you. But you see it then? See it then, just then? It's a really weird thing. And I took a hit then at some point, but that's nothing in the grand scheme of things. We've killed a boss without really being touched, and now we're back at full life, and there's just a couple of straggler robots, and we're not in any danger really, other than bad positioning. And ammunition, of course. I'm down to the assault rifles now. But I didn't have to try and find a strategy in this area, guys. The moment I entered this room, I saw that there was an area I could drop into, and the first thing I did was drop into it to see if there was any kind of cheeky vent, and then the boss was on top of me, so I didn't have any time to move. And then I realised the boss couldn't hit me, and straight away, within 15 seconds, I'd found a really good strategy to beat this in massive gauntlet on the hardest difficulty. And that's the perfect practice run, where you stumble into these wonderful strategies, and hopefully you're going to watch this, imitate what I just did, and have massive success. What a wonderful serendipitous discovery, right? And that's pretty much why I make these videos, guys. One of the reasons why I started doing this is because I stumble on shit like that all the time. I don't know what it is. I have a gift for being a bitch, and I find these really cheesy places that the game just can't handle. And if it makes it easier, there's a lot of people that just want to get the achievements or the trophies or just want to beat it so they can move on to the next game, and boom, I've helped them do that, and that's an awesome feeling. So walk over the wall and then move over onto this shantytown, and then go up the fire escape, and then there's going to be a little bit of a gunfight, but the gunfight's really easy. So what we're going to do, guys, because it's going to cut off quite prematurely, this video, I'm going to shoot the stragglers, then there's going to be a little bit of a break, and then there's going to be 2 diesel soldiers that are going to turn up. All I'm going to do is put my laser weapon on, and I'm going to proceed to headshot the diesel soldiers as they get out of their recovery animation of landing. I'm going to kill them in 2 to 3 shots, I'm not going to get shot once, and it's going to show to you just how effective that laser gun is at killing those soldiers, even when you don't have any upgrades for it. That's how good that weapon is, and that's the reason why I constantly sing its praise, because it's the best gun in the game for this run, because it just does the business. But there's just a couple of dudes here, so be ever so careful. Once again, I will always meet violence and meet challenge with double assault rifles, because it's just the most utility-based weapon in the game, in my opinion. It lets me handle every situation, and the only reason I would ever swap it out is if I need shotguns to have that extra kick and that extra stun. But for everything else, this will have you covered. So this is when it goes close, and then I think they're going to drop down. Follow what I do, kick some ass, guys. Thank you for watching, you take care now.